This is Mark Bell from MarkBellSlingshot.com and SuperTraining Gym, the strongest gym in the West. SuperTraining Gym is located at 855 Riverside Parkway, West Sacramento, California. If you want to come check out SuperTraining Gym, all you got to do is hit us up on Instagram. Let us know when you want to come. The gym is free. You got to check it out. We have a store in there, and we sell every single product that we have. Slingshots, wrist wraps, strong sleeves, you name it, we got it in the store, including our apparel and including some of our supplements and some supplements from some friends at Evogen and some supplements from First Form Nutrition, as well as Quest bars, and as well as another product called Freeze Sleeve, which is a sleeve that you can put on your elbow, your knee, your forearm, wherever's hurting after a workout, and just provide some ice and some compression after a training session. So we got all that great stuff inside the gym. Anyway, enough of the promotional bullshit. Let's get down to the details. Let's get down to why I'm on here and why I started this series. This is number 3, and we're going to keep rolling through these. The reason why I started to do this series and the reason why I'm fired up to pump out some of these videos is because I share the message of do more, be more, do more, become more. The more that you can do, the more that you can handle. The less that you do, the less that you can handle. The less that you do, the less you want to do. We've all had those days where we sit on the couch and we mope around, right? Today's subject, I'm going to talk about my bodybuilding diet. Before I get to that, there's something I want to address that was talked about in the first 2 episodes of From Mark Bell's iPhone. I talked about an alarm, and here's what I think people should do with their alarms. I think that you should be getting to bed at a proper time so you don't necessarily need to wake up from an alarm. And there's some science, there's some research that shows that that's a good idea for multiple reasons. But anyway, what we want to make sure is that we are well rested for the day. It's going to be easier to stay on your diet if you have enough sleep. Your diet itself will be more productive. You want to be pre-diabetic and you want to have carbohydrates and glucose wreak havoc on your body, then miss a night of sleep, and that's what you become. It can be that detrimental at times. So make sure you're getting in your sleep. I know I keep promoting it and I keep talking about it, and Stan Efferding's doing the same thing, and we're these old guys that are retired from our sport. But one of the reasons why we're still able to put points up on the scoreboard, both in life and inside the gym, is not because of performance-enhancing drugs, although those do play a role. You've heard both of us speak upon those subjects before. Nothing to hide there. But one of the key components is that we make sure that we're getting in enough nutrition and we make sure that we're getting in enough sleep. So please make sure you're getting enough sleep. Last note on sleep: don't set your alarm to wake up. Set your alarm to go to bed. Set your alarm to go to bed at a certain time. Stop eating at a certain time. That old wives' tale of you shouldn't eat 2 to 3 hours before bed, there's actually some science behind it, and you should actually give it a try. Great way to kill off cravings and a great way to stop you from eating that extra bullshit that you want to eat every single night before bed. If you're a fatty like myself, then you know what I'm talking about. And you big fatties know what I'm talking about when you rummage through, you rifle through your pantry at 1 o'clock in the morning like a goddamn bear. You know who you are. I've done that many times, and wake up the next day and box of cereal's gone and all this is gone and all these candies, gone, and anything else my kids had set out for them for the day is gone. Just crushed everything. Peanut butter jelly sandwiches and Oreos and whatever the hell else I can get my hands on. So try that. Set an alarm. Stop setting your alarm to necessarily wake up. You can set it to wake up if you need it, but I would say make sure you're just getting in a proper amount of sleep. Suggested is 7 to 8. Some people can function on a little less, but not that many. So 7 to 8 is a good barometer. I went to bed at 9 o'clock last night with my ritual and everything that I was doing. I probably didn't actually go to sleep until closer to 10, and I woke up at around 5, got myself to training around 6. And anyway, you get the picture. You have to get yourself to bed much earlier than you think. So you're going to want to set that alarm to that alert to hit you a half an hour before it's actually time for you to go to bed. So you might want to start even looking at the clock even a full hour ahead of time, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, if you're trying to be to bed at 8 or 9 o'clock, because you got to brush your teeth. There's other things you got to do. If you have kids, you got to worry about what that looks like, getting them down and everything else. Here we go. Going to talk about the bodybuilding diet at 5 minutes and 30 seconds into this bodybuilding diet information that I'm about to unleash. First and foremost, shout out to my boy Hani Rambad for helping me out. Appreciate all the help. He's been guiding me every step of the way. When I started the diet, weighed about 240 pounds, maybe 245 pounds, somewhere in that range. We started out with 350 grams of protein, 65 to 75 grams of fat per day, and about 150 to 200 grams of carbs per day. Now, we messed around with some peri-nutrition where there was pre, intra, and post-workout carbohydrates. We've booted that out and taken that in and utilized it at certain times, and ultimately where we used it most was to try to bring up weak body parts, things like that. Hani wanted to see my shoulders come up, wanted to see my arms come up, and so a lot of times we utilize the carbohydrates around those workouts. Might be something that you want to try as well. If you're an undersized person, you're not as big and as thick as you'd like to be, you might want to just have those carbs in there all the time, pre, intra, and post. Now, it's just a one scooper, about 20 to 25 grams of carbs. So you do the math on that, 60 to 75 grams of carbs surrounding the workout. Not an insane amount. And then the rest of the day, rice, potatoes, oats, those kinds of things. I like potatoes quite a bit because potatoes have potassium. Potatoes also have other critical vitamins and minerals and stuff. And rice doesn't really have much of anything. It's kind of absent. It just has carbs in it pretty much. But rice tastes good and takes on the flavor of the other things you're eating, so it still has a lot of benefit. Vegetables, kind of anything goes with vegetables. I ate a lot of peppers. I ate a lot of carrots. I ate a lot of spinach. Not a lot of carrots. I ate a carrot a day pretty much. And then protein sources have been egg whites, chicken, steak, salmon, any types of fish really. I stuck with yellowtail tuna, ahi tuna on occasion. I really enjoy salmon a lot for the extra fats. Try to get wild caught salmon rather than farm raised. The omega-3 ratio is going to be better. And Hani basically had me go chicken, steak, fish, and just rotate those things around at different times of the day and for different meals. But I had it at one serving of those per day. A serving was 6 to 8 ounces normally. When it comes to the carbohydrates, a lot of times it would just be a half cup of cooked rice or a half a cup of uncooked oats. And that would be my portion size for carbohydrates typically. Sometimes 6 to 8 ounces of a potato. Sometimes I would just chop a potato in half because I just don't like counting. Still to this day, I don't actually count the calories, but it was looking like I was riding between 28 and 2,500 to 2,800 calories most of the time, give or take, some extra stuff here and there. I had the omega-3 eggs mixed in with the egg whites. I usually had 2 of those per day just to kind of keep the healthier fats up. I took an enormous amount of supplementation, magnesium, zinc. I mean, it's a whole separate thing, and I could try to go over each thing that I have. I also utilize Slingshot protein throughout. The Slingshot protein is a hydrolyzed whey protein that I sell on my website. If you never tried it, we make a chocolate, we make a vanilla, and they both taste fantastic, and they're both very low in carbohydrates, 2 to 3 grams, 30 grams of protein per scoop. It's a fantastic product, 1 gram or even 0 grams of fat. I can't remember right off the top of my head. But it mixes up thin, mixes up nice and easy, gluten-free, it's dairy-free, you know, so you don't have any problems with the lactose and all that kind of stuff. Maybe it's not dairy-free because it's whey, right? That doesn't make sense. But it doesn't have lactose in it. And I think it's a product that a lot of you guys and girls would dig. Utilize some fat burners and some different things. I don't know, you know, I don't know how big of a difference these things made because the enormous amounts, the enormous amounts of cardio and training that I've been doing. So it's hard to really, you know, I can't really just pin it to just that. I gotta turn the car here. It's getting pretty warm in here. We're in the sun over here. I decided not to drive because a lot of you guys were complaining you didn't want to see me die on camera. Some of you probably do want to see me die on camera. I'm trying to think of some other nuances of the diet. You know, all these little tips and tricks of like, you know, when to eat and what to eat and all these different things. And try not to worry too much about that and worry about the bigger picture all the time. Don't really sweat the small stuff as I start sweating profusely, right? Don't sweat the small stuff. Sweat, if you're going to sweat anything, sweat the consistency. Remember what I said in the first episode of this. The thing I've been able to hit people the hardest with is a heavy dose of consistency. That's when I've been able to hit people the most with. That's my forte. That's my strength. My strength is just being constant and being consistent and just always trying to be there and always trying to do the things that I feel are right that are going to progress me the best. And that's all you can do. Another thing to realize during all of this, all that you can do is going to be enough. It has to be enough. You can't be a lunatic about these things. All that you can do is enough, right? So don't sit there and go crazy and bonkers over what you didn't do for the day. You put in the best effort that you can and you work on it every single day. The hardest part of this whole thing has been organizing the time. That has been the most difficult part of it all. Getting to bed on time, waking up on time, trying to get to other places on time. All these things, piecing all these things together has been very, very difficult because it's moment to moment. It's day in, it's day out, but you always have to be prepared. And I really, my hat, if I had one, goes off to all the bodybuilders out there and all the fitness competitors, male and female. I admire what you people have been able to do because this is really hard. And I advise anybody that's listening to this to try this. Try to embark on a bodybuilding diet. Try to eat 6 or 7 meals every day. Try to eat your carbohydrates in grams. You know, take your body weight and have that represent how many grams of protein you're going to eat for the day. And take your body weight and have that represent how many carbs you're going to eat in a day. And then take the fat from there. And what we do with the fat, the fat would probably be somewhere between quarter and half of your body weight. You know, so if you weighed 200 pounds, you know, you would be at like, 30%, 40% range of that would be how many carbs you would take in. You know, if you weighed 200 pounds, you'd probably, 60 to 70 grams of fat, somewhere in that range. When you start getting over 100 grams of fat, it's usually for guys that are a little bit bigger. But anyway, man, give some of this stuff a try. The protein would actually end up being higher, but I just recommend that to start out. Anybody listening to this and you're like, man, 350 grams of protein's a lot. If you're a smaller guy, don't just go and apply that rate to yourself right away. Start out with 1 gram per pound of body weight, and then you can rev it up from there, and you can work your way to 1.25 and 1.5 and things of that nature. But those are all things that I think everybody should try because this shit is not easy. It's actually quite challenging. Sometimes you're eating when you're not hungry, and other times you're starving. And so it's a consistent battle against your number one enemy. It's a consistent battle against yourself over and over again. A lot of people have these things they like to complain about in a day, and People very rarely complain about themselves, but that should be at the top of their list. Oh man, this traffic. Oh man, my car is a piece of shit. It wouldn't start this morning. That's why I'm late. No. No. You are late because you're late. Because you chose to be late. You made a decision to be late. If you would have prepared properly, you wouldn't be late. And if you were more prepared, you wouldn't have a piece of shit car. Now, would you? Right? The only way to get ahead is to get out in front. The only way to stay out in front is to keep moving. If you're not moving forward, what are you doing? He who ceases to be greater becomes smaller. The stationary is the beginning of the end. It precedes death. Is all this sinking in? This is from a book called Iron Will, if you want to check it out. The stationary is the beginning of the end. Think about that. That's a huge statement. The stationary is the beginning of the end. Literally, that's what happens in life. Somebody's old, they fall, they break their hip, they're not moving anymore. And then that's it. That's all she wrote, right? You can't stop moving forward. Don't allow other people's influences to drag you down. You want your hopes, you want your dreams, you want them to be crushed, hand them over to a weak-minded person. And they will laugh in your face and they will make you feel awful about the dream that you had to want to be famous, to want to be rich, to want to be on TV, to want to be somebody. They'll be the first person to shoot you down. And that's when you know something's a great idea, is when somebody else wants to tear it apart. Somebody else wants to laugh about it. When I made the hip circle, I cannot even tell you the amount of ridicule that I got over that product for many different reasons. Oh, this is a woman's thing. This is for chicks building up their hips and their butt. Why are you making a product like that? Oh my God, it's so dumb. It's just a circle. Well, now everyone and their brother and everybody and their mother has jumped on the bandwagon of making their own version of a hip circle, haven't they? You guys seen the knockoffs. You've seen the rip-offs. It started with me, you sons of bitches, because I had the balls to go out and do certain things that I thought were cool. I dictate what's cool, and so do you. That's the way this shit needs to work. I dictate what's cool. I put stuff out that I think is good, and I roll with it. And I never look back. I never regret it. I put out Kido Pro. It's the first product on the market that was a keto-driven protein powder. Fats and proteins, taste amazing. No one else put it on the market, and there's tons and tons of versions of it now. I was first to go to market with that. The Slingshot. Everybody wants to claim they had the idea of the Slingshot. They didn't. I was the first to market with that. I have a United States patent on it now, and so that makes everything a little bit different. You can't patent everything. I couldn't patent the hip circle. My point is stick to your guns. Find something you want to do and do it and pursue it with everything that you have. There's going to be a lot of people that try to drag you out of your lane, and they're going to try to tell you, you know what? That's stupid that you want to be big. That's stupid you want to go from 180 to 220. That's not even, is that even healthy? Why are you eating all that meat? Isn't that unhealthy? Listen, it's got to be healthier than what everybody else is doing, right? You cannot be any more unhealthy than our general population with the horrible decisions and the weak-minded and weak-willed people that you see every single day. I am sorry, but I'm not sorry for this. I feel amazing. But because I feel so amazing, I also feel better than other people. And let me tell you why. Because when I see other people munching on Doritos, cranking down on some Wendy's, when I see people stuffing their face with French fries and nachos and doing all this shit and not having proper sleep and being on their phones all day and missing out on the world and missing out on fantastic opportunities, all I can do is look at that in disgust and watch people get dumber and fatter by the day. And all I can do is shake my head because they're not learning. They're not learning from their mistakes. They haven't learned, they haven't heard about one of the most important things that you will ever learn in your lifetime, and that is personal development. Stop working on your job and start working on yourself. Make yourself your job. Work on trying to look better. Work on trying to feel better. Work on trying to be stronger. Work on trying to feel stronger. Empower. Empower. Power. Be powerful. Empower yourself. Stop sitting around. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. Stop giving yourself these speeches of, oh, if I do this, if I do that, then it's me pouring too much time into myself, and I don't know how I like to help other people. You ain't helping anybody by being a sack of shit, I'll tell you that right now. How does The Rock inspire millions of people? The Rock inspires millions of people by being The Rock, right? Plain and simple. John Cena inspires millions of people by being John Cena. And the better he is at being John Cena, and the more jacked that he is, and the better performance he can put on when he's acting, or the better performance The Rock can put on when he's entertaining somebody, or the better performance these guys can put in the ring, because they worked on their conditioning, they worked on their bodies, they worked on everything, and it's a culmination of everything all meeting up at WrestleMania, and they get to go one-on-one with each other, and the world gets to see it. They captivate millions and millions of people because they worked on themselves, they worked on their trade, and they became better. They worked on personal development. Get the hell out of your job and start getting into your mind, and start even going out of your mind a little bit on occasion. It's okay to be a little bit crazy. It's okay to chase down your dreams with everything that you have. So what if you run over a few people? People aren't always going to like the decisions that you make. Some people are made to be run over. You're either in or you're in the way. Don't allow people's weak-minded thoughts to creep into your thought process, and don't have them make you think, Mark Bell bodybuilding, nah, his waist is too thick, he can't really do, he can't bodybuild. He's a power lifter. Mark Bell's a power lifter, and he's wealthy and stuff, so like, why would he even care? He's probably not gonna, he'll probably get like decent shape. And then they look at my Instagram, they look at my Facebook, they check out some of the stuff, and they're like, oh, okay, well, wow, he's doing pretty good considering he was a power lifter. And now what are they saying? And what are they going to say after I compete? What are they going to say after I win on August 25th? Who the hell knows? I don't know. But what they can't say and what they can't take away from me is I chased this down with everything that I had, even though it was only for a handful of weeks. But I've been chasing everything down with everything that I have. I know how I feel in my heart about it because I've given it everything that I had. If I needed to do an hour of cardio for the day, I did an hour of cardio. If I needed to do 90 minutes of cardio, I did 90 minutes. These things cannot be outsourced by other people. These are things that I had to do myself, but they're things that I wanted to do for myself. Start taking care of yourself. Start doing better. Remember what I always teach. Remember what I always preach. Do more, be more. The more that you can do, the more that you can handle. Go out there and kill each and every day with everything that you got. And don't forget about my tip about setting your alarm to go to bed and not necessarily setting your alarm to wake up. Strength is never a weakness. Weakness is never a strength. That's my bodybuilding diet. You got more questions, put them below. I'm going to keep slugging it out. I got more videos in fitness. I got more videos on here than anybody in the fitness industry. Come at me, bro. I'm Mark Bell, and I'm out of here. Whoosh.